yes. I told you I had a headache. Okay, so to answer your question, yes, you could actually grab a layer of the flower. But basically make a copy of, or get a good selection of that flower or a good selection of the background, whichever way you want. If you get a selection of the background, then you're going to do a Shift Control I, which would inverse your selection. And that would go to the flower then. And then just do a Command C or Control C. I keep using Mac terms. Use Control C, that'll copy it. And then Control V will lay it right back down on top of itself as another layer. And then you can do a Control T, which would give you a transform, and you can transform that layer, make it slightly larger so it covers up that issue. Holding the Shift key down while moving the corner of the Control T of the selection there, and hit return at the end, and that'll flatten it out and solve your problem.
And then as far as making the selection, Photoshop, I think, has like I know it has really good selection tools, but is one of them a color selection? I forget what the flower looks like, but I wonder if a color.
You can select by color, or you could give it a select by subject, tell it to do a subject selection probably. That would get you pretty close with that picture.
I'm going to have to follow the ants and make sure that it's not including that white spot or that bright spot, and it's
You still
only
have to
on the
get in there and
flower.
do a little pixel by pixel selection.
Yeah.
But it'll be quicker than having to do a pixel by pixel.
It's a cloning.
placement.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I like
You can also find, I know he does a lot of shortcuts, and I always start off showing people where it's at, but underneath edit, you're going to find your transform tool and your free transform tool. So if you go to edit in Photoshop, you can go down and make sure you get the transform tool, not the free transform tool.
Right, because that one does it.
Yeah, that one does whatever you want. The free one does whatever you want. The other one stays contained the way it's supposed to.
The free one will work too. You just have to hold the Shift key down.
Well, yeah, but I'm just showing her another way to do it.
Yeah, but if you happen to get the wrong transform tool, don't worry about it. As long as you're holding the Shift key down, it will expand proportionally.
Right.
Because I really like that picture, and that glow, I saw that, and I just didn't know what to do with it. And then everybody was talking about it, so I wanted to fix it, and I just didn't know how to fix it.
Well, Brian, I was going to ask you this question, but now that I see Annie just joined the call, I guess I'll ask both of you. I guess I don't recall when we've discussed the feather show. Are we or are we not having an opening reception?
I believe at this point we were not having one.
We're not. Okay. I couldn't recall hearing anything about it.
No, because well, they only want limited number of people together, and that building is so small.
Yeah.
That if everybody that has a photo in there comes by themselves, we would be overcapacitated.
Yeah.
Already.
Annie, you're on mute. Well, she's probably on mute for a reason. Okay.
Hi.
There she is.
Sorry, I was finishing a phone call. I was not listening. What was it? Was somebody asking me a question?
Not anymore.
Got it answered.
Sorry, I was ending a conversation.
You can mute
we'll
now.
do it like, what is it, Jeopardy? The answer is no.
Yeah.
The answer is, I've got no clue. How about that?
Well, seriously, I asked whether there was going to be a reception for the feather show, and I guess the answer is no.
As of right now, no. Yeah. With COVID the way it is, the answer is we can't. She,
I was gonna say, if we need something, I got another couple questions.
Go ahead.
Well, there was one of the pictures that I also put on Reddit a while ago was that canna lily. And something on that, I really like that picture, but something on that sticks out to me, and I don't know if it's a bad thing or not. You can see the light because the background's dark. You can see the light has certain spots glowing on it. Almost looks white. And I don't know if that looks bad on that picture before I
mean
have it printed.
It looks blown out in places.
I don't think it looks blown out as much
Why
as
don't
it
you
looks
share your screen and show us?
Yeah.
white.
what's the picture?
It's at the canna lily. I think I shared it. It was a while ago.
Not sure which lily you're talking about.
The long one with the orange on top.
Just as an update, Annie, I've got, I think, 37 titles turned in.
Okay.
Get mine, Brian?
I did, Dennis, yes. So that's 37, not counting mine. I haven't figured
That's
out.
a pretty good turnout.
That's good.
Yep.
Good.
I haven't turned mine in yet.
That's fine, Melissa. Yeah, I emailed you today or a little while ago and said, go ahead and whenever you get them to me.
Okay.
Okay, that's cool. I have to get mine printed. I have to get mine printed yet.
We'll end up.
And I have to get mine from my framer.
Gee, she's gotten herself a little bit ahead, so you're in good shape. As soon as I can get as soon as I get your mountain frame, which I was leaving today and FedEx came and he gave me 2 boxes, so it might be in there. So I've got myself caught up to everything up to the 24th as of when I left. So
I'm trying the first ever acrylic print. 20 by 20,
oh yeah, where'd you get that?
White House.
Nice.
I checked Michael's and they won't do, the sizes are pretty limited.
Yeah.
We were looking at that.
Yeah, Marty and I were looking at that last night. As far as their prices go on what they are offering, they
Yeah.
really weren't too bad. The prices are pretty good. But like you said, the sizes are kind of limited on the glass, the acrylic, the metal. I'm not sure what the wood was. I think they're all about the same size. They're all like standard sizes. There's nothing square. Because Marty was looking at wanting to do something square too. But the prices themselves are not bad for what they are offering as far as a regular,
Yeah.
Yeah, a 16 by 20 was $75.
Yeah.
That's not a bad price. So, but yeah, so I hadn't really looked at it, but when I stopped at Marty's last night, her and I were both looking and checking it out a little bit. So, but yeah, I'm anxious. I've got a couple of things I've got to get them sent to the printer tonight. I haven't had a chance. I had been gone since 9 o'clock this morning and stopped to see my mom and then got home. And I had phone calls galore. So, but I'm glad to hear that we have, going to have a nice turnout for the show.
Well, Brian, were there any, Melissa, we obviously hadn't done hers yet, she said. Were there anybody else that normally would submit photos that maybe are just late as well?
I am.
Marty, I haven't seen anything. I don't think I've seen anything from Rex either.
Yeah, he's going to do a couple.
Okay. So I don't remember seeing his name on there, and I accidentally closed my email program. So
Beth isn't on here, but maybe she could include a final reminder in the Sunday update. If that's not too late.
No, it's not too late. Yeah, I haven't seen anything from Rex. We did get some from that Donna,
A new member.
the new member.
Good.
Yeah. But yeah, I haven't seen anything from Rex. He usually participates, so.
Yeah.
Okay, Jim doesn't want us to see him now. Yeah. Hmm.
I think I have.
Oh, you were talking about Jim Murphy. I just saw my background disappeared.
Yeah, you're not there.
I just noticed that. I must have accidentally hit stop video or something.
I have that orange lily up on Lightroom.
You share your screen.
All right, guys. As I said, right just before you do that, Melissa, as I said right at the beginning there, I'm battling a headache, so I'm going to step out at this point. Jim, I'm going to make you the host. If someone else pops in, they'll pop up on your screen that they want to join. Just, click admit on them, okay?
Oh, okay.
And I'll be listening. I just not going to participate because my head is literally killing me right now.
Okay.
Thanks, Brian.
Feel
Hey,
better.
Brian, I'm sorry, before you leave,
Yes.
I just got a note on my screen. It says you cannot start your video because the host has stopped it.
I did.
Well, that's what the notice said.
There, I just said, asked you to start your video. Let's see what that does.
There we
There he
go.
is.
There you are.
I might have hit a button, Jim. I don't know. I said I'm not doing too good right now with my head.
No problem.
All right, I'm gonna turn you into the host now.
Okay, I'll put my hostess hat on.
Yeah.
Jim's going to be the hostess with the mostest.
Uh-huh.
All right, you're now the host, Jim. So if anybody wants to pop in late, you should get a notice on your screen for that.
And I just need to do an okay, apparently.
Yeah, it'll come up and just click admit. You'll recognize most of the names if anybody pops in at this point.
Yeah.
Well, hope you feel better, Brian.
All right, guys.
Yeah,
I'll
I
be
feel
listening.
better.
Yeah.
Bye-bye, Brian.
Thank you. I'll be listening.
I know how miserable those headaches are.
So, well, since you made me the host, I'll just mention a couple of items that I was going to bring up at some point. So just these are reminders. I know there's not a lot on the call, but the Hannistown tree portfolio.
Mm-hmm.
It's a long time due. It's not due till the end of November, but I'll take every opportunity to just remind you to submit photos for that. And then you might not have seen the email yet, but earlier this afternoon, I sent out an email, a request for a list of accomplishments for us to put in the proposal for the
You
Westmoreland.
don't ask for much.
What's that?
Said you don't ask for much. Supposed to remember 10 years worth of not very many rewards.
Well, hey, I'm sorry. I left you jog your memory, Dennis.
It's like keywording. If you'd have known then what you know now, you would have made a list.
I actually have a list on my website.
Yeah, well, I don't.
I started doing that.
That's a good idea.
Yeah, but
I mean,
yours,
it's like a personal resume.
Well,
Yeah.
What do you
your,
mean?
your stuff is fairly new within the last, what, 3 years?
Yeah, but I wouldn't have, I just figured I need to put on there where my stuff has been, because if somebody goes there looking for artwork, at least they can see it's actually put up
Good idea.
somewhere and judged.
Yeah.
It's disciplined.
What
Yeah.
do you mean by the a list of accomplishments?
Did you get an email this afternoon?
If I did, I didn't see it.
Okay. Well, rather than go into details, were you on the call last week when we talked about possibly having an exhibit at the Museum of Art?
I don't remember that far back.
No, I don't think she was.
No, she wasn't
Okay.
here.
It wasn't at the Photoshop. I missed the Photoshop.
Okay, it might have been it. Anyway, Margie, the Cliff Notes version is, we've been invited to submit a proposal for a photo exhibit at the Westmoreland Museum of Art. We're going to prepare a proposal for that purpose. And this email is requesting our members to send me a list of what I'm calling accomplishments, which in my definition is if you've had any photos accepted for a juried art show or maybe won a contest, to send that information to me. And the email explains the particulars.
Yes.
And I need that in 3 weeks.
All right.
What are you trying to accomplish?
Basically, if you were trying to get a job somewhere, Dennis, you'd prepare a resume.
Yeah.
That's going to be,
This is a club resume.
Oh.
that would be
So
different.
this is not the proposal. This is a document that gets you in the door.
No, the list of accomplishments will be part of the proposal. What the basic idea here is to submit a proposal for an exhibit to the museum that demonstrates to them that we've got some creative talent
All right.
that have historically been successful in having their artwork selected for juried art shows. That's
No, it's
the story, if you will.
specifically jury art shows. It is specifically that, is not other accomplishments.
He said if you've won anything.
Give me another, like a for instance, Margie.
Okay, for instance, the magazines where my photos have been published, the books they've been published in,
That's
the
fine.
database with Texas A&M.
That you said enough. You can do that too. Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah, see, I've been juried into the Three Rivers Arts Festival, the Art National several times, Fred Rogers Show, Latrobe.
That you need to send me that as a list.
Yep.
And the email describes the information I need from you.
Okay. No, I haven't had a chance to look at that. Like I said, I was at work from 9 to 5:45 and then saw my mom and came home.
Now, part of that proposal, are you proposing what we will do for our art gallery? Like a specific theme or?
Okay, yeah. Unfortunately, Melissa, we had an officers meeting, and I think when I say a meeting, it was after one of the Zoom calls. So I guess Margie, you and Melissa are probably the two that weren't on that call.
yeah.
To answer your question is we did agree there will be a theme to the show. It'll be similar to the Hannistown show. The theme of the Hannistown show is basically everything to do with Westmoreland County. We're just subtly changing it to everything to do about the Laurel Highlands. So if, let's say Dennis has some great photos from his 5-month stay last winter in Arizona, those photos probably aren't going to fit the show.
Okay.
So the reason we thought it was important to have a theme for the show to get it accepted, as opposed to, well, we're just going to offer you a bunch of photos that members happen to have.
Well, that's why I was thinking you need a theme, but I didn't
Well,
know what you were thinking of going with.
Yeah, to make it easier on ourselves, it's a rather wide thing. And, and it should sell to the museum. It's the Laurel Highlands.
Yeah, all right.
And then there's stupid me that doesn't know what Laurel Highlands area even consists of.
Lynn Run State Park.
Not alone.
Well, that's a rather general term, but I think most people would, at least in our area, would say Westmoreland, Fayette, and
Somerset.
Somerset counties.
Yeah.
Definitely those three. And if you had a photo from Indiana, the Laurel Highlands so Indiana would probably count as well. So don't get too picky on me at this point in time. If you've got, for instance, your flowers from Ohio would not make it. But Western Pennsylvania, we could probably stretch the theme of the Laurel Highlands. But if, let's say Brian has some really neat street photos from downtown Pittsburgh, nah, I don't think so. If they were from Greensburg, yeah. If they were from Uniontown, yeah, but probably not Pittsburgh.
Okay. I don't know if,
Well, and you don't have to worry about that at this point in time, because the exhibit itself, and I can't say this for a matter of fact, based on their website, they appear to be booked through next year. If we're to have an exhibit, the soonest is probably going to be 2022. That's just my guess. I don't know that for a fact.
Yeah, sure.
So all we're assembling in this proposal is a package to present to them that says, these people look like they might have something worthwhile. And if they accept us, then sometime between now and the date that they would offer us, then we need to step out and start thinking more about how many photos, what size photos, and then you can begin thinking yourself, well, what matches the criteria or the theme of the show.
okay.
But that's about how I could explain it at this point in time.
Good. Good for you. Good idea.
It's probably going to be a long shot, but it can't hurt to ask. We have asked, and they've offered for us to submit the proposal.
Yeah, they have that little foyer on the lower level where they did the
Okay.
4x6s.
Yeah.
But that could be the bridges too.
Well, I tell you where they're offering us, well, not offering us yet, but where the show would be, and I don't know which gallery is what, but it's called the Robert Shaw Gallery. It's a large space. It's a long rectangular hall. They sent me a drawing, and the two long walls are almost 40 foot long.
Oh,
So there'll be plenty of hanging space for us.
is that in the new wing?
I haven't been out there yet to check it out, Dennis. I don't know.
I wonder if that's where the Warhol exhibits were.
No idea.
When we went.
So I don't know who posted this up here.
Brian,
Oh, okay. But anyway, there's the three counties that at least Laurel Highlands considers Laurel Highlands.
okay, that'll cover the bridges too.
What bridges?
Somerset,
Covered bridges.
The covered bridges that I wasn't there last year, but
Yeah, we went on that covered bridge tour. So that would include that.
and just a couple of other items on that is there are no requirements for the frames to be similar. Sizing is open. So you won't have to go and, like we kind of had to do for Hannistown, everyone looked the same, if you will. This will be whatever you have, you can submit.
Well, we did talk about possibly keeping the sizes no smaller than a 16 by 20, just because of the size of the wall space that's going to be there. I think if you're saying the walls are like 40 feet long, 40 feet, that's a lot of space to cover. And if you have like an 8 by 10 or an 11 by 14 on that wall, it's going to kind of look tiny.
Well, to add to that, Annie, the other part of the discussion is it won't be an absolute requirement. It'll be a suggestion.
Right.
The larger, the better, I think, is the message. But if someone has some really nice, 8x10s or 11x14s, there's no reason that they can't show those.
Right. Yeah, I think as far as a 8x10 or 11x14, something like that should be, maybe if you have like 4 of them put together, as a series, that would be nice. That would look nice as a grouping. You know what I
The
mean?
point is, we don't want all 5x7s or 8x10s.
No,
Yeah.
no.
That was the nice thing about the Hannistown show, was the scale.
Right.
Yes. Well, Dennis, in that regard, and you probably aren't aware of this, but I've been a critique of our previous shows, particularly at the Greensburg Civic Center, about hanging
Yep.
3 high. I just despise that. We did agree, well, initially it was maybe too high, and Brian was the one that really came out highly suggesting for this venue, if we get a show there, we ought to make it 1 high unless it's 2 relatively smaller prints, like maybe some 8x10s or 11x14s.
You mean, don't stack them.
Don't stack them. Yeah.
Yeah.
And let's see. Well, Marty or Andy, I don't recall any other particular discussions from that when we discussed the show. I think we covered all the answers.
I think you've covered pretty much everything that we talked about as far as, what we were looking for that show. You have photos that you are already going to submit, to them for that, but you just wanted the information, on everybody's accomplishments and things like that to submit to them to make us look as professional as we possibly can.
Well, one thing you just said there reminded me of something. Since you haven't read the email yet, you won't be aware of this. What Annie referred to as far as having photos to submit, part of the package for the proposal will be a portfolio of the club's photos. It'll probably be sent to them as a link to like a Google Drive folder or a shared folder of some sort. But at any rate, what we had discussed was, since we have the group of print or photos from the Hannistown show, and they're all on Westmoreland County, that we could use those as an example portfolio to submit to the museum. But in my email, Annie, I did offer anybody who wants to submit additional photos for the portfolio to go ahead and do that.
Okay.
So the more the merrier, I guess. It can't hurt to have them.
No.
So that was an option for people to submit the photos that won the jury or were entered in the juried shows, could share those photos with me if they want to include them in the portfolio.
All right. Melissa has several of those that she's been in Southern Alleghenies and a couple other the pretty prestigious shows she's been juried into as of late. So, that's some pretty nice photos that she has there that she could probably send you if she wants for that. So, show some of her versatility.
Her ostrich ticket in there.
Well, I was going to say, of everything that's been juried in, I think the only one that's in Westmoreland or in the Laurel Highlands is
Your ostrich?
the ostrich. I mean, unless
Well,
is Allegheny County in there?
Well, okay, Melissa, for this purpose, for the portfolio for the proposal, I don't think it's absolutely necessary. If, for instance, that ostrich photo, if that's one that you would like to submit because it was one of your award winners, if you will, go ahead and include that. There's no reason we couldn't include that in the portfolio for this purpose, because the portfolio we're submitting now is just, here's the type of work we're capable of doing.
Okay.
but you're going to have to find an ostrich somewhere in the Laurel Highlands if you want to.
Oh no, that one's in Westmoreland County.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
it is.
Yeah,
Oh, that
Oh,
was
yeah.
was that at the?
Smithton.
that's up in Smithton Zoo.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah,
good.
it's a critter country.
That's what I mean. I think that's the only one that was in
Oh,
Westmoreland
okay.
County. In
All right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because I think your flowers were from Phipps, so
mhm.
that's Allegheny County. So that wouldn't be Laurel Highlands.
The other thing that's being displayed right now, it was one of my crystal balls that I did in my basement.
See, now there's a good example of I'll call it at best a gray area at this point. Although we haven't written the theme for the proposal, the fact it's like the theme isn't something taken in the Laurel Highlands. It's to project the Laurel Highlands in some fashion. So
What's what I mean? Like that's what I mean. Like the one up there being displayed right now is one of the abstract with the crystal ball and the lighting. It's not.
yeah. Well, Marty had an example from a quote abstract standpoint because she likes to do the trees and whatnot, and it's like, you know, it's so difficult to lay down black and white rules on something like this. But if she or you did an abstract of some object that one could yeah, that's kind of a Laurel Highlands tree, as a for instance. But again,
I resign.
No, you're not allowed.
Yeah.
Not allowed.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, it would be nice if you could.
I'll put it in others one.
You know, we all have our own photos, and they could be anywhere from the world. But I think to try and get a proposal accepted, a theme of some sort was necessary.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So unfortunately, it may discount some people's favorite photo, but you know, so be it, I guess. Or as our President Trump would say, it is what it is.
Mhm.
Oh, I think that's it.
Mm. That's yeah. I think you're trying to showcase, shall we say, the Laurel Highlands. So you want shots that showcase, you know, parts of the Laurel Highlands, you know, that people may recognize.
That's okay.
What did you say, Marty?
I said I haven't.
Don't hear you.
That golden pond. I said I haven't. One.
Yeah, that's definitely Laurel Highlands.
Hey guys, I don't know if Jim pointed out or not, but this show probably will not take place for what, 2 years from now, Jim?
Yeah.
We did talk about that, Brian. Yeah.
Did you? Okay, I don't remember hearing that, but just keep that in mind. So we have plenty of time to actually go out and take pictures.
Oh, yeah.
It doesn't have to be something that you've already taken for this show.
So when we get accepted, all of our outings are going to be in the Laurel Highlands area, so we can.
Yeah. No, that's good point, Melissa. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's all right. Marty and I just did that last week. We went out to the Laurel Highlands and took a lot of photos, and she's got some pretty good ones. We got some pretty nice photos. We ended up with a lot of different weather on the same day. It was really cool last Tuesday.
Even in
Unfortunately, your microphone keeps cutting out, Marty.
Oh, I said I am myself.
Marty, there's something wrong with your computer mic. You're just like all broken up when you talk.
Yeah,
That's
I'm getting a
okay.
lot of feedback.
That's okay.
That's
I'm not important.
Yes, you are.
I said I impressed myself.
Yes.
That's good.
Yes. We did quite a good, you know, we really had a good day. We ended up with a little rain in the morning, and then we ended up with some fog. And then after the fog was done rolling in, we ended up with some sun. So we ended up with a little of everything that day.
Well, I tell you what, Annie and Marty, hold that thought for a second. But getting back, Melissa, did you want to share the photo of the flower that you had some questions on? And after we do that, Annie and or Marty, do you have any photos that you want to share with us?
I do not, because my computer is being stupid.
Oh,
I don't know. I haven't really worked on anything yet. I haven't had a chance.
all right. Well,
But
Melissa,
Marty has
do you
one
wanna-
in particular. Marty has one in particular that I really, really like. And the funny thing is we both. She got these colors from this one pond that we were at that are just absolutely stunning. And it was funny because I set my camera exactly as like hers, and there was no way I was getting the same colors that she got. It was,
you using a polarizer?
nope, we didn't have anything on there. She had other than she had my lens on her camera, and we were standing side by side taking the same picture, and it just, what came up on mine was totally different than what came up on hers. But her version ended up, it's just right out of the camera. It was just absolutely a stunning shot. Just the colors that she got didn't show up on mine.
Well, Annie, so just out of curiosity, on my Fuji, even though, well, so I shoot in JPEG and RAW,
Mm-hmm.
and the JPEG version of the image is a film simulation that I select. So if you and I both had Fuji cameras and we're taking the same photo, the display shows the JPEG version, and if we had picked two different film simulations, those two photos would have looked completely different. So I guess my question is, for both of you, are there in fact some type of a, I know you don't use the term film simulation, that's a Fuji term, but do you have something similar to that that could explain the difference in the color?
Well, that's what we did was we both, Marty actually has my old camera. We made a trade. Marty has my old camera body. I have a newer, she has the Canon 60D, and I have the Canon 6D Mark II. She had her camera set up one way and I had mine set up another. Well, we went in and actually set the cameras up identical and took the same shot side by side. And the colors, what I got and the colors that she got were totally different.
Is there like a landscape setting or a normal setting or a shade setting, or not white balance settings, but an actual?
No, there was, and we set them exactly the same.
Oh,
Yep.
Okay, interesting.
Use
Yeah.
the same process with the same software?
So
Yeah, Lightroom.
the thing that are you talking about a final product of color difference, or are you talking about the picture that you've seen
In camera,
standing next to each other?
in camera.
You're
Yeah,
using
in
two different
camera.
cameras with two different back sensors or two different back screens. Your colors are always going to be different.
Well, even on her computer, the colors that she got aren't what I've got.
Right.
Like,
That's because you're using two different cameras with two different sensors in them.
Yeah, well, that's what we ended
That's
up.
the reason I can always show you such great pictures on the back of my camera. Then I bring them home and I have to work on them to get them to look like.
Yeah. On an iPhone.
I have the back of my camera has a screen on it that's way better than 90% of the screens out there, and that's why.
Yeah.
Yep, good
Okay.
point.
Well, a lot of mine were straight out of camera. I didn't have to really do anything to them, which really impressed me
Yeah.
Yeah.
that day.
It just
So-
depends on it depends a lot on the sensor. Which sensor is in the camera compared to the sensor in Annie's camera? They're two different sensors.
Yep. Well, that was what our conclusion was because mine's a full frame and hers is a crop sensor.
Yep. Exactly. That's a huge difference in color.
So mine picked up more colors. She's got like all these golds that came out in this one spot that we were at, and it just is a gorgeous shot. And like she said, straight out of the camera.
Yeah,
We were
you'll
doing
notice
a,
with the full frames that they pick up more color because there's more pixels between spots.
right.
So the computer inside the camera is doing less work to give you a final product or to give you an image. So when you're using an ASPC, it's simulating what it thinks is in between different areas, from
Mhm.
pixel to pixel. Where with the full frame, it's doing less simulations between the two. So
Well,
there'll definitely be
Brian,
a color difference no matter what, no matter how your settings are, there'll always be a color difference between the two.
But don't get me wrong, my photo came out. My photo is really nice too, as far as that goes. But
I have
just
no doubt. I'm just explaining why the difference. That's all.
oh, no, I got that. I got that. No, I'm just saying that don't get me wrong, my photo is nice too. But just the color that came out on hers was just it just shocked both of us. And then she has another photo that came out really really nice. It was something that was a little bit different.
Marty, I think what Annie's trying to say is she wants her camera back.
No,
Yeah.
Oh,
no.
Actually, Marty, I think what she's trying to say is that you whooped her ass.
I might have.
And it's killing her. It kills her.
I was seeing if I had a picture of it, like I sent her. I have the one. I took a screenshot and sent it to her. Oh, it doesn't do it justice. Never mind.
So you're not going to share it with us, you're saying?
That's correct.
Okay.
Hey guys, I want to ask a quick question as well. As Rex sent me some information, he did an upgrade on Lightroom and
Yep.
had some issues with Photoshop. Have you guys done any upgrades or had any issues with that, or was that just a?
I did the upgrade and had no issues. But have I read anything in Photoshop?
I think that Rex's issue was that he did the upgrade and then part of the upgrade to the Photoshop and then canceled or put it on pause.
Uh,
From what I was reading,
Oh, right.
in his email to me.
yeah.
And then before finishing that upgrade, he told Photoshop to open a photo.
Ew, that doesn't sound like a good idea.
No.
I think that's
I don't like it.
I talked to him. He was concerned about an upgrade to the catalog. The version 10 Lightroom wants to upgrade the catalog, which means it wants to change it so it's no longer backward compatible.
Yeah, and that's normal for Lightroom. It does that quite often.
Yeah, and I had no issue with that. I mean, the catalog's still there, the photos are still there, and I'm able to access them. But I don't know what I've done in Photoshop. Probably nothing.
Okay. All right. I said from what his explanation to me, that was what I got out of it, was that he had not finished the full upgrade of Photoshop before trying to open a picture from Lightroom to Photoshop.
I made the error in my upgrade in saying not to delete old
Why is that an error?
because now I have 2 Photoshops on my list when I open it up. When I
Yeah, but
open up
you can fix that.
how do I fix that?
Just delete the old version.
Okay.
Yeah, I have like 4 versions of Photoshop on my
Yeah.
computer.
Okay.
Yeah, it don't hurt nothing, but you can go in and get rid of the old one.
Yeah.
Okay, that's about all my head can handle.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
DL, are you a Mac OS guy? DL,
Yo,
have you tried Big Sur?
nah,
Right.
nah, I'm all PC.
Oh, you are.
Yeah, all PC.
All right.
I've started up a couple Macs, and even that was 20 years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, they're coming up with an update. I'm just curious if anybody tried it.
Hmm.
Melissa, do you want to attempt sharing your photo, or do you want me to get on Reddit and share my screen and try to find your photo?
I have it open in Photoshop.
Well, that's okay.
I just, I realized
Just share your screen.
I have it there.
And there's,
That's the photo I
I
was,
remember that.
Yeah.
the sun was out very bright that day. So there are spots on it that are very bright, that are white. But that's from the sun. Does that look okay?
looks good to me.
It looks
Yeah,
good
I
to
like
me.
it.
I'm not sure where you're seeing that white. I'm not seeing any
Yeah.
white.
It's what looks to be the backlighting on like
Yeah.
the stem, I'm gonna call it.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. It's more on that stem that's why I was just concerned if that was something that sticks out badly or not.
Well, Melissa, my personal opinion is it wouldn't be as good of a photo without the backlighting.
I agree.
It would
Yeah,
blend in.
right.
It would blend in.
That helps to keep the whole thing, standing out from the black background.
Because I'm looking at possibly getting that printed as a 12 by 36 and
Sure.
then having a frame made. So it's going to be a lot of money put into it.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't want to have it printed if it's not going to look right. That's why I was asking.
You could start with a small print just to see what you're going to get.
Okay. But yeah,
Yeah.
that was just my concern.
And if it bothers your eye, maybe you can like reduce the highlights a little bit on it if you think it's too bright, but just what I'm seeing on my screen, it looks fine.
Okay.
It looks fine to me too.
And it might just be me because I'm like,
You're working off of the other one.
well, and you focus on it so much and you stare at it so
Right.
much and then you just like, oh, that's all I can see.
Yeah.
I don't know if it is popping out to anybody else because I've worked on it, you know?
Yeah, no.
I tell you what this reminds me though, is the analogy whenever I paint a room and I know where every flawed paint stroke is, particularly where the wall comes up to the ceiling and things like that,
Yep.
and your eyes tend to focus on that. I think that's what you're doing with this photo.
Okay.
Because what I find myself now that you've quote pointed it out to us is I am looking more at the backlit stem than I am the flowers. But I think that's which probably you don't want people to do. But I think
Right.
the only reason I'm doing that now is because you were concerned about that backlighting.
Yeah.
You know, if you would just like bring up the photo and not say anything about the backlighting, I think your eyes are directed to the flowers.
I agree.
And the backlighting just enhances the photo.
You
Yeah.
define
Right.
it.
So I just wanted to make sure.
Melissa, out of curiosity, did you try to reduce the highlights on one side of like the main stem, like the right side, for example?
I did not. And I want to play with it a little bit more. This was just, I finished the edits and did this. And actually, I didn't ever even notice that. And then all of a sudden I went back in and my eye just kept going to it. And I
No.
was afraid it was something that was a distraction.
I was just curious if maybe that's what's catching your eye, the fact that there's highlights on both sides. I don't really think that there's anything, I don't think it takes away anything at all, but I was just curious if you tried with that and if it messed, if it took your attention away from it or not.
I might try that. I might try lightening, or I guess darkening the highlight a little bit on the right side to blend with, because it looks like the light's this way because of the flowers. I might try that. That might help. That
Is
might
it-
actually help.
Is this up to 100%? Can you put it on 100% for me?
I don't know. On Zoom?
Yeah, just go up on the top and see up on the top right-hand corner. Left hand. All right. You got right there.
Yeah, it's at 100%.
There's 100. Now scroll down some for me. Yeah, bring it.
Ow, Arrow. What? You just kicked me in the foot.
All right. There's a lot of, you see the lightness in there? I bring it on up to the top. Yeah, on the black. See the black right there? To me, that was distracting a little bit.
Well,
And I saw it when it was brought down, but I can see the darker part, and then it goes real light, right there where your hand is. There and up a little bit. I saw that in the black area. Now that to me was distracting, but maybe nobody else.
No, to me, it just kind of looked like almost like a smoky background.
Yeah.
well, the white dot should be taken out.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
see the
Yeah.
white dot now, but I don't see the black. I'll have to work on that.
Right where your right where that little hand is. That's what she's talking about.
There, and then when you go back up, you'll see it even lighter. When you bring it back up on the top, you'll see it even lighter.
Yeah, that spot there is what she's
Almost
talking
like
about.
a black circle, and then you have a piece of
Right.
white running through there.
Yeah, that.
Okay. I'll have to work on the backgrounds.
Don't work on it too much.
No,
Mm-mm.
you don't want it
I mean,
totally
you don't want
out.
black.
Right. It's just those that are real light. You can bring it down a tone or so,
Yeah.
bring it down just a little bit more.
Nice photo. The nice thing about it
Yep.
is the reds look red. They're not.
I
overly-
know. Yeah.
Right. And the oranges are a nice, pretty shade of orange. Yeah, the colors are great.
Mhm. But whenever you're working on a picture, always bring it up to 100% so you can see like that little white dot that, you caught.
Yeah, I just saw the white dot. Some
Yeah.
of that shadow that you're talking about, I'm not, and it might be this light that I have on. Okay, I see a couple right here.
Yeah, right there.
I think it's this light that I have on beside me that I
But
can't
it's-
see some of it.
don't get rid of it. It's texture.
Yeah,
But you want to bring it down. You want to bring it down some. But don't, like Dennis said, don't get totally rid of it. You don't want it black, black, black.
Bring it down as in more shadow
Uh,
or darkness.
yeah, bring it down just a little, make it a little
Yeah.
bit darker, but not much.
Okay.
Did you work on this in Lightroom or Photoshop?
Lightroom.
Just
Lightroom.
do a brush and tone down the whites.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll have to turn the light off so I can see it.
Nice photo.
Thank
It
you.
is. It's beautiful.
Now, has anybody used custom picture frames?
yeah, I do all the time.
You don't have a problem with their frames?
No, with what I'm selling, no.
No, it's a
I use,
website called Custom Picture Frames.
No, I have no idea.
I use American Frame in Ohio or Michael's in Greensburg.
Yep.
Okay. I was searching to find out what size I wanted, and they came up, and they do the frame and the matting, and I was wondering if anybody had ever used them, if their
No.
frames were any good.
I don't know. Just from what I'm doing, did you get that? You haven't gotten that printed out yet, right?
No.
So do you just order the frame and the mat from them and then put it together yourself?
I don't know. I didn't get that far. I was just looking, and they showed up, and it looked like it would only be like $65.
That's cheap, but I'm not sure what kind of frame you're going to get.
Well, that's why I was asking. Again, hence the question.
Yeah, I get you. I'm just saying that I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm just getting used to seeing things in person, and
For that size, I would stick with a framer that you're comfortable with, that have a good reputation instead of an off-brand one that may not have. You may end up losing money going to that place.
Well, that's why I was asking, because
Yeah, you don't know, and I haven't heard of it, and no one else apparently has either. So
yeah,
it may be best just to stick with one that you do know does a very nice job, even though they're more.
I might have to have this person over at Michael's that's in charge of the
I wouldn't recommend Michael's myself. They've got a new hiree that isn't worth a. Right?
Do you hear them,
12
Dennis?
by 36 is not going to be cheap.
yeah, yeah.
I'll charge you
That's
double.
what I figured. 12 by 36. It's going to be inexpensive with the mat. It's going to
And
be.
by the time you do, if your print's 12 by 36, your frame's going
Well,
to be.
Well, if you're nice, I might even add my discount on top of it.
Might. After she
Maybe.
charges you 1.5 times.
Hey, I wasn't the one that said don't go there. That was Margie.
I know. I know who it was. I don't know. I will let you know right now. The only frames I have on sale are my classic elegance.
Well, I would only want a plain black frame.
Okay, those. What I'm trying to think. Classic elegant. Yeah, there's a couple that have. They're simple. They have a little bit of an edge on them, but if you're talking just a plain frame, black frame, right now they're not on sale.
Okay.
Now I have some new frames that are coming out tomorrow. I've got the setup ready for them, but like industrial. I don't know what the prices of those are going to be right now. I don't know what the rollout's going to be till I get it. I have to go in tomorrow and get everything set up in the computer before I even know what those are going to be. But
I'm not in any rush. I have a little bit of work to do on it. Like I just was looking and thought I'd look. Curiosity.
yeah,
What about the 40% off coupon, Annie, on items that are not on sale? Would that
40% off coupon is only good on stuff in the regular part of the store. That doesn't
okay?
include custom framing.
Okay.
Custom framing, we always have our own coupons.
Uh-huh.
Like I said, right now we have a 60 plus 25 off on our classic elegance collection. So that is a good deal. It's actually a better deal than the 70% off, but the 70% off is also a good deal. Because that's 70% off of everything. That includes the frame. It's, because it comes as a package deal. It gets the frame, the mat, your masterpiece glass, us putting it together, all, preservation fit. So it's not really bad. Dennis got, what was that, 16 by 20?
Yeah, max.
It was actually a little bit bigger than that. By the time we put the mat on there, 20, maybe it was a 20 by 24 by the time we were done. I think it was. It was 134.
130, 140.
So really was not bad. It wasn't a bad deal. Dennis got it, So he brought the photo in and we figured out what he wanted, and it was not a bad deal because he's normally pays just for a frame, in around $100. So he's getting everything done for him for $30 more than what he paid for just the frame.
Right.
So I know framing's expensive. It's not cheap if it's done right. So
Watco has this approach that he goes to Walmart and buys 16 by 20 poster frames for like $9 and uses those. But you can't get a 12 by 36. That's the hard part.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and that's what I was looking at, trying to have one made for it because it's an oddball. I kind of like it.
12 by
but it's an odd-
36. White House will print it. MPix will print it. The
Yeah.
size is not unusual. Getting it framed is the challenge.
Yeah, and that's what I just uploaded a like I made it how I wanted it and uploaded it to MPix just to see what sizes would pop up.
Yeah.
Because I was just curious, so I had the ruler out trying to figure out
Yeah.
which size I wanted because I want this one to be an oddball size. I don't know.
Yeah.
I just have this obsession with it having to be an oddball size.
It's okay. I work with that kind of stuff every day.
So,
I had somebody bring in, it was a hand painted giraffe from Africa. This lady's daughter got. It was a canvas, and it ended up being like 7 inches across, and it was like, yeah, it was about 36 inches long. So it was pretty cool.
yeah, I kind of like that idea. I like strange things, so it fits perfectly.
Yeah. So I found a frame that looked like it had been like from Africa, you know, fit it really well because it was like a really bright, like a bright orange painting on the canvas. It was really cool.
And then I posted some new pictures on Reddit. I pulled out that lens baby over the weekend and cleaned it up and tried to play with it a little bit.
Good.
That is hard.
Do you want to show those, Melissa?
They're on Reddit. Let me see.
Oh, you can pull Reddit up.
Here. That means I have to log in. Oh, I'm already.
Do you have the lens baby you have to adjust with your fingers?
Yes. It is, and you have to figure out where the sweet spot is.
Yeah.
And that's what the difficult part of it is. So let's see here.
They're pretty cool.
So let me. That's one. Here's one of them.
Yeah.
That's
And
pretty.
it took a lot of work to try to get it right here to be the focus because it's.
Yeah. I'd like to see the foreground part be a little more in focus.
Yeah, and the kind of lens that it is, it's the composer, so it's made to have a sweet spot and everything out from there is out of focus.
Yeah.
So to find that spot was it's a lot of work. I mean, I still have to figure it out. I don't know how to get out of this now. That's not what I wanted.
Close the tab.
Oh, it opens a new tab. Okay, I didn't see that under the. Gotcha.
Are we doing the Halloween thing in next week?
I thought it was at the next WPS meeting. Am I wrong?
On the 29th, yeah.
So it's the SWG meeting.
Yeah.
The next SWG meeting then.
Oh,
Yes, it is. I have notes here from our last meeting. It's the October
That's next
29th SWG meeting.
Yeah.
So that's just next. Oh, wow. Okay, that's around the corner.
Now I
And
gotta
then-
go find some Halloween stuff.
And then this
If
one
you
was
open the door to your house, you'll probably find something on your street.
Not a whole lot. They're not allowing the kids to go in trick or treating around here.
Well, you're in Hempfield Town. Well, I guess you're not technically Hempfield Township, but
I'm not. I'm actually Swickley Township.
okay, but it's part of the Hempfield School District. Do they not abide by like the school districts? Because the school districts go in there. I shouldn't say that. Hempfield Township is having trick or treat.
Yeah. Well, I'm in York. I'm in York School District. I'm surrounded by Hempfield.
Oh, you know what? I did not realize that, Annie.
Yeah, I'm Swickley. I'm actually Swickley, so I'm York School District.
Okay.
So I'm surrounded by Hempfield, but 2 miles down the road, a mile down the road, that's all Hempfield. But this is not. This is York.
So, Melissa, I got a question for you. And I know that, like, over the years that Beth has put up Lynn's baby photos, and I guess I've never thought to question her on this, but, and I understand the gist of it, but when it comes, like, to a close-up of a flower in this case, how is this different, or how would that photo look different than if you just had, like, a macro lens and focused where you focused? Is it different?
I don't think it's a huge difference because I did not go through all of the pictures yet. I just looked at the ones that had the lens baby on them. But you saying that, what I did was I took these pictures also with my 105 or whatever it is macro,
Mm-hmm.
The 105.
so I could compare them.
And what was your conclusion? Are they much different?
I haven't looked at those ones yet. I just
Oh,
pulled up the lens baby ones just to see what I could figure out. But to tell you the truth, the little bit that I could see real quick, I really struggled trying to get a focal point with the lens baby because it is made, there is a sweet spot in there and you have to find it.
yeah. I guess I can't, again, I'm not unfamiliar with lens based, so I shouldn't even be asking or mentioning this, but it would seem to me that for this effect, that the easiest tool to use would be your macro lens, as opposed to, because I know Beth has shown lens baby photos of like more of a scene, if you will, and there the distortion is so unusual that you know it couldn't possibly be a regular lens.
Right.
Yeah.
And it all depends on what you're looking to do. I just happened to, these were flowers from one of the arrangements from my father's funeral, and I took them outside and I thought, I'll just play with it and see what I can. I didn't even know how the lens worked. I just wanted to play with it
Yeah.
Yeah.
and
Good.
just to see.
Has a unique character to it.
Yeah. And then I really like this one.
Yeah.
I do too. That looks cool.
But it really is a lot of work to try to find that sweet spot and where it's at. And it's all manual focus.
Yeah.
But when you say that, I'm curious, are you just like changing what the apparent point of focus is? Like taking 10 shots and then just like picking out the one that best matches what you wanted to do? Or are you able to do that while you're adjusting the lens itself and just taking the shot that you want on one shot, if you will?
Yes.
Is this 1 out of 100 or 1 out of 2?
This is probably 1 out of maybe 10.
Okay.
Only because I was trying to, well, again, I was trying to figure out and remember where that sweet spot is and move it. Because what I can do with the composer is, even though the sweet spot's here, I can move my lens this way. Like, I can turn it a little bit. So that sweet spot now becomes over here instead of here.
Mhm.
Or down here, if I want it down here, or up here. Like, I can move that. So I was trying to play with that to make different sweet spots, different focal points,
Yeah.
which then also meant that I had to adjust my manual focus to get what I wanted in focus.
Mm.
So it's a lot of work.
Now, one question for you. Did you put that on a tripod, or you hand holding it so you could get what you wanted?
I ended up hand holding it because I found that was easier in order to move the lens.
Yeah.
Again, I took these outside so
Mhm.
that I had plenty of light. So the wind was blowing, which was then moving my leaves. So I was really struggling outside trying to get what I wanted, because it would either move as soon as I got it in focus, the wind would blow, and I'm like, well, thanks.
Yeah. Did you use the viewfinder or the screen on the back of the camera?
I actually used the through the focal point with my eye, my viewpoint. And I watched, because the camera does have down in the bottom corner the arrows and then the circle for when something's in focus. But I don't think that circle focus, Zeba's ringing the bells. The zero focus is necessarily what I want in focus.
Yep.
So the camera might be saying, yeah, there's something in focus, but it's not what I'm trying to get in focus.
Oh, okay.
And thank you for the bells, because they are beautiful, and I have them in the house because I thought the dogs were going to have to get used to them.
Mm-hmm.
And Zeba rings them all the time. Because I was afraid that when summertime comes and we go to put them outside, if they hear them, I was afraid they'd be barking constantly. And Zeba really likes the sound of the ones that you got, Annie, and she just goes over, and that's what she was just ringing them.
That's good. I'm glad. I'm glad you like them. We've got to send the bill to Brian yet. Margie.
But those are the only ones that I edited and posted.
They're pretty.
Well, Melissa, I do have a suggestion. When the officers have a meeting for planning for next year, should we ever get out of our Zoom meetings, it might be nice for you and Beth to tag team at one of our face-to-face meetings, the use of the lens babies. Because I mean, I'm hearing you, but not really fully understanding it.
Mm-hmm.
I think people might be interested just to kind of see them in action, if you will.
Yeah, that's fine. I don't have a problem with it. I'm sure Beth won't have a problem with it either.
Yeah.
I got lucky. I was not going to buy a lens baby for the price of what they were, because I didn't know what I was getting into. If I would not have been able to get, actually it's right here. If I would not have been able to get it for the price that I got it for, I wouldn't have gotten one. I got the lens baby composer for $50 because it's an old version of it. And then I got 4 attachments to put on the front that were for $20. So for $70, I got a lens baby. If it wasn't for that, I probably wouldn't have got it. But it's one piece. This end, of course, goes on to my camera. It hooks onto my camera, and your lens then here. So what happens is you do have a focal point in there, and this moves back and forth in a complete circle. It's on a swivel. So you can pick your focal point and turn it. So you can make your focal point down here instead of up here. And then you just make you know, turn till you're in focus and take your picture. It's neat. It's different. I played with it with the flowers because one of the lens attachments that I have to put on the front was a macro. I think the one I used for those ones was 10 plus 10. I have a plus 10 plus 4. I have a wide angle, and I forget what the other one is. There's the macro kit, wide angle, and telephoto.
Well, speaking of new lens, Pat just found out that she bought my Christmas present the other day.
Yeah, what lens did you get?
Fuji just came out with an improvement to one of their older lens that I've got on pre-order. It doesn't actually come out until late November sometime, but it's a 10 to 24 zoom that the lens that I have now, it's 16 to 80. And the 16 is wide enough for most needs, but I've always wanted to get something a little bit wider. So I figure I'd take this opportunity and get another lens. In fact,
Jim, are you on a crop sensor or a full frame?
I'm a crop sensor.
Okay, I was just curious.
Yeah. What really made me start thinking about it is I went up to Wolf Rocks sometime over the last 2 weeks. And Pat wasn't with me. She was out babysitting some of the grandkids at the time out in Westchester. And she said, oh, well, send me a couple of photos. So I had my cell phone with me, and I sat down and I took a wide angle shot with my Android phone. And that lens was wide enough I was sitting between 2 sets of rocks, and it captured the rocks on both the left side and the right side of where I was sitting.
Mm-hmm.
And I took literally the same photo with my Fuji at 16. And once I got home, I realized the significant difference. And the cell phone photo was just awesome looking. It really was. Just for that particular purpose, it was wide enough to capture the rocks on both sides, where the Fuji just was not able to do it.
Hmm.
I shouldn't say the Fuji, the 16 millimeter wasn't able to do it.
Yeah.
So I realized then I needed something a little wider.
Yeah, I just picked up a 14 by 24 2.8 full frame. It's supposed to be good for some night shots, so I do a lot of night shots. So
Well, this will not be good for night. It's a constant f4, but that's not quite wide enough for good nighttime photography.
yeah. Yeah, I just got it and I can't wait to give it a try
Oh, you got it?
today.
Cool.
Yeah, pretty anxious to give it a try.
I bought a new fridge today.
Good.
It was my lens money.
Dennis's lens money just went into keeping his food.
Yeah, it could have been a new angle.
Did you get anything with a computer on the front of it?
No.
Those things are ridiculously expensive. I wouldn't spend $3,000 on a refrigerator.
No, we got GE profile.
That's the last one I bought. Is a GE.
Yeah, I like those white ones they got out. What is the cafe or something like that?
Not that expensive, but
I know, I priced them and I thought, well, you know, that's way out of my range. I think it was on sale for
Yeah.
3 appliances, like on sale for almost $10,000 for 3 appliances. So
Yeah.
way out of my budget.
Yep. You got a nice refrigerator as it is, Margie.
Yeah, I do. I can't complain about it.
keep
Nothing
stuff-
in it, but I do have a nice fridge. That's for sure.
Yeah.
I need to get me a filter. And I bought Hoya and the B plus W and the Tiffins. And I want a polarized circular multiple resistant coating filter. And I just don't know which one that I was asking y'all.
B&W.
Recognize.
B&W.
Yeah, B plus W for sure.
Yeah. My last two is what, yeah, I got the B plus W for the last two. And it's just, you know, I've been paying $130 for my filters, my polarized filters.
Yeah.
And after paying for the 14 by 24, I was sort of hoping to save maybe a few dollars, you know, but okay, I'll stick with my B plus W.
Yeah.
Well, Margie, that reminds me, this new lens I just ordered fortunately has the same filter size as the current lens that I use for most of my photography.
Oh, yeah, nice. Yeah.
That's I don't. Mine are different.
Yeah, all of mine are different.
I've got a 77. I've got an 82. I think the new lens that I just picked up is a 49, and I have a 58.
I got quite a few, but mine are for the DX, the crop sensor lens. I'm gonna unload all of those and just stick with the full frame lens. And if anybody knows anybody who wants any decent lens that are for the Nikon DX, let me know.
Margie, you ought to put that note on Reddit.
Yeah, I probably should. I thought about just listing them also on eBay, you know, since I do so much eBay anyway, sell so much stuff on there. I might do that too. Because I'm sticking with maybe 3 or 4. Well, I've got 4 FX lens right now, full frame lens right now. And I don't need anything more because I got the 28 by 300 3.5. And like I said, the 14 by 24, and then the 105 macro, and then the 50 millimeter. And I just can't see needing anything else for right now. My DX, I was always using that 18 by 200. So I just replaced it, like I said, with the 28 by 300.
Well, that's quite the range.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I tried it the other day, and oh my goodness, that thing is sharp. Even at 3.5, it was sharp because I like to zoom in 100%, look at the leaves and see how sharp they are. So many of them are fuzzy when you go 100%. And this one here was really pretty sharp on a lot of it. So I was pleased with it. And it was windy that day, which left me a bunch of bare trees, of course. The limbs look good.
Well, and speaking of taking photos, everyone, we're approaching the end of October. Next, was it Halloween night's the last night to submit photos for the October contest, which is, I guess, Saturday, next Saturday.
Yeah, I know. And all my kids come out on the 31st.
Yeah.
And they have them all set up. The town is set up with everything on the 31st. So, and we're ending it on the 30th. I'm going to miss that part of it. You know,
they're not.
Huh?
They're not allowed.
I'm not
They're
talking
not
about the
allowing.
Halloween photos, Margie, just the monthly contest, is anything at all.
I know that. I know that.
They're not allowing the kids around here to go out trick or treating.
Yeah.
They have a thing set up at church that they're going to pass out bags. So if you want to, you know, instead of going, if you wanted to donate anything, they're passing out treat bags that they've already like put them together. Churches.
Well, I'm gonna
letting everything sit for like a week before they pass them out.
I'm gonna put mine in a big bowl and set it on the steps. Well, you know that I'm in quarantine for the third time, so my hazmat suit has got to have a leak in it, is all I can say. So I'm not going to be able to get near anybody for another week, week and a half. So I'm just going to have Billy put the candy out in the bowl, and the kids will just grab what they want. When it's gone, it's gone.
What do you put in that bowl?
Oh,
Huh?
What do you put in that bowl? Come over. Those good Kit Kats?
No, I actually use those Smarties because I don't use anything with peanut butter in it because there's so many children allergic to peanuts. And I don't like anything real big because you have some of your 2-year-olds out there that can choke on them. So I find the Smarties, they don't choke on, and they really enjoy the Smarties. So that I get those Smarties every year because I have to watch. I like watching out for the children.
Mm. Well, I got my Halloween candy today at work. We had a jar of those candy corn. It was a combination candy corn and those pumpkins.
Oh, I love those things.
Okay, they had a gallon bell jar, or yeah, you know, like the canning jar, a gallon of it, and they had a list. You know, you had to guess how much candy was in there. And we've been saying for a couple of days, oh, who won that? Who won that? Annie won that. I found out today, my boss, she started to leave, and then she come back. She said, oh, by the way, you know, you won the candy. I said, what? She said, yeah, you won the jar of candy in the back. I said,
So, Annie,
okay.
mess up. How long did it take you to count all those pieces?
Yeah, I was going to say.
Oh, I don't know. I was sitting there in the break room, you know, for my half an hour just counting them. But no, there were 475 in the jar, and I guessed 445. So I did pretty good. I was off by 30 pieces of candy.
She's been locking up at night. Keep that in mind.
Yep.
So I came home with a big jar of candy today. I'm like, oh God, just what I don't need. But oh well. So I've got my Halloween candy. I'm not buying anything. Nope.
Well, the candy corn is vegetable anyway.
Oh yeah, there we go. Sorry.
So they're good for you.
Melissa's like,
Well, hey, Margie, getting back to your use
can't hear you, Melissa.
I have
Back to what?
experience. We normally both have chocolate and non-chocolate candy to give out at Halloween.
Uh-huh.
And I have to admit, and we typically ask the kids, would you prefer Twix or, let's say, Smarties as a for instance?
Yeah.
Way over half the time, they prefer the non-chocolate candy that we offer.
Yeah.
Which surprises me because I'm just the opposite. I would prefer the chocolate.
Oh, me too. I had so many little kids come up and they jump up and down. Mommy, Smarties. I got Smarties. So I figured, okay, I'll go that way. And I feel safer that way because a 1-year-old could actually swallow a Smartie without getting choked, you know, getting stuck in their throat. So, and I'll have to worry about peanuts then. I liked it in the old days. Oh, well, y'all look pretty young, but back in the old days when we used to make popcorn balls and, you know, candy apples to hand out and cookies, you know, all homemade stuff. That was fun.
Yep.
Filling extractors.
What was that?
Filling extractors.
Yeah.
But yep. No, I remember doing that. The popcorn balls and then of course then people decided they needed to put razor blades and all kinds of crap in stuff.
Yeah.
Ruined it.
Yeah, those were the days.
That's
Get out of the house in the morning, go wherever you want, and be back by dinner.
Yeah, that was it. That was it, you know. Okay, kids, you're all together. Okay, go ahead. You know, mom and dad didn't have to necessarily follow you around because they knew where you were going in the neighborhood, and
Yep.
we knew all the neighbors, and you could just go. Nowadays, you can't. Kids can't even get on their bus. They're not even allowed to get on the bus without mom or dad standing there. That
Well,
I
no,
was
they can get on
surprised.
the bus without the mom and dad standing there, you know, but you have to really worry about them getting on the bus, you know. I used to be able to take off and, oh, back to my age again, take off and I had to be home by supper. And it didn't matter where I went, as long as before it got dark, I had to be home. And it was safe back then. We felt like it was safe back then, and it was a
Yep.
lot of fun. Nowadays, when my kids, and I was young back then, you know, grade school, junior high. Nowadays in grade school, my G kids walking from the Y down to my house, and all of you pretty much know that's only a block away. I have to stand out there and worry about it. And I mean, that's only a block away, block and a half away. And I have to stand out there and worry about them making it there.
No, we used to get home from school. You had to change out of your school clothes into your play clothes, and then you said, "I'm going outside to play," and then you did. You were gone,
That's it.
and you knew when to be back.
Yeah, before dark.
As lights
So
come on.
not like that. What'd you say, DL?
So as the street lights come on, that's when you go home.
That's
Yeah,
right.
that was it. That was it. Yeah, it was fun because all the kids in the neighborhood, we all played together and
Yep. Yeah,
had a
we
great time.
sure did. Oh, well, times have changed. Not for the better in some areas and for the better in other areas. So now I want candy. Thanks, Annie.
Hold on a minute, Margie. Let me help you out.
Yeah, I have all of these Smarties in there, but I hid them way up in the cabinet where I can't reach them without a ladder. And I've been so good, but now I'm thinking about finding a ladder out of the basement.
Hold on, I'll be right back.
Oh, she's going to go get her candy. My dear goodness sakes. Okay, Jim, so to knock her off real quick.
Oh, I don't know if I don't have that power. At least that I'm aware of how to use.
Where are you? Save us.
I hear you.
I know you do. Hey, I got 3 puppy dogs to go with that puppy dog cover. You can have for about a day.
See?
Dang, girl.
Good.
That's a quart size, too. That's big.
No, it's not a
Oh,
quart.
that's a half a gallon.
That's a gallon, a half gallon, a half gallon.
Gosh, yes.
Said it was a big jar. Wide
Gee.
mouth ball jar. Yeah. Whatever.
Yeah, they're about 55 calories for each piece.
Yeah.
So while you're eating it.
Lordy.
This is scarce.
I was passing candy out as I was leaving the store.
Oh, well.
Oh, well. Yep.
So are we going to meet next Wednesday or just on Thursday?
Good question.
Well, I'm not sure if Brian's listening. The last month when the week that we had the SWG meeting on Thursday, he canceled the Wednesday Zoom Light call or SWG Light call. So
Yeah.
I don't, if he can speak up if he's paying attention right now, but at least that's what we did last month, just canceled it.
Right.
But I guess that'll be up to him.
And Thursday night, we're going to look at Halloween photos.
Yeah.
That's correct. Yep.
All right. Good.
And actually, I haven't looked on Reddit for that. I think Brian was going to add a flare for that purpose.
I don't think he has yet.
He has not?
Has not.
Okay. If he's off completely, it doesn't respond here, I'll send him a reminder email.
Yeah.
I know he wanted them grouped together as threes like we did the flowers.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes it a lot easier to go through them.
It does.
Okay. I'll have to get
I'd better get out and start taking Halloween. I can't get out. Oh my goodness. I'll have to take some night pictures of Halloween when everybody's in bed.
I was gonna say you have to go out when nobody's out.
That's it.
He
Or
did
your,
say they could be from any year.
That's right.
Oh,
Oh, that's
really?
great. Yeah.
Yeah, they didn't have
Okay.
to be from this year because it's before Halloween, and then with everything going on, it's hard to get anywhere. So he
Any
did
day.
say any year.
Okay, good. Well, I've got a lot of Halloween pictures. I would, excuse me, like to take some fresh ones though.
We went to Phipps last week.
Mm-hmm.
It was the fall bud show,
Mm-hmm.
not the fall flower show. So we have to go back. Lots of buds, not very many flowers.
So that's your name for it, not their name?
It's my name, yeah.
Okay.
We'll go again. Well, it ends the 1st. So a week from Saturday or Sunday. But we'll go next week sometime.
Well, Dennis, we don't go to Phipps an awful lot. That seems like it's a fairly short period for one of their shows. Do you know why that is?
I do not know why it is, other than they're getting ready for Christmas.
Yeah, they had actually sent emails out, and I think I just deleted all the emails, but they had said that their shows were shorter this time.
Oh.
Because I remember them saying even the fall ones, it was only for like 3 weeks or 4 weeks at the most.
Wow.
Yeah, it was really short this year, and I think part of it has to do with COVID. They're trying to restrict, but I think they're trying to, like said, get ready for Christmas and
Yeah, for the holiday lights one.
yeah, I think they want to maybe do it earlier than normal so that they have to cut down on the amount of people in there. They can try to get as many people in for the holiday.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
That would be my guess.
But you
That
still
would
have to
probably
get,
be a good assumption then, because the holidays is when they really the place is really
Packed.
busy.
Yeah.
You
Still
know.
have to get tickets in advance.
So
You have to get tickets online in advance. You
Yeah.
that's
can't
what I thought.
go to the window and buy tickets. They'll turn you away and tell you to go use your phone to get tickets, which is a little bit absurd, but that's what they're doing.
Arrow.
Hmm.
I guess, Dennis, maybe the reason they do that is they don't have the capability to go into the software. If they would sell you 2 tickets at the ticket window, that takes up 2 spots that they would have to somehow account for on the online orders.
Yeah, Jim, I can see that, but they know what their time, so 9:30 is the earliest you can go. They know how many tickets they've sold at 9:30. And if they sold out, then they can't sell anymore.
Right.
But if they've sold half their allocation and you walk up at 9:30, you would think you could say, well, I want 2 tickets. And they could say, okay, we have the capacity, you can have 2 tickets. Or you could take your phone, stand there and order the tickets on your phone, get the email and walk in at 9:30.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I don't know. We always go like on Mondays at 9:30 because the crowds are lighter.
Well, yeah. I've always tried to go there, during the week instead of on the
we do
weekends.
too.
If I'm going by myself, which I've done. numerous times. It
Yeah,
just, to me, it's a lot easier. It's just so much easier. So. But I haven't been to Phipps in quite a while, since before the COVID,
yeah.
just
But
because of
that
all
Christmas
the,
show is a big show.
what's that?
The Christmas flower show is a big show.
Yeah, no. And it's so always so pretty outside. And I'd like to go. I'll try to figure out a time to go. I want to do that.
Hey guys, just to answer a couple of questions you had. Next week, we will just have the SWG meeting. We won't have the Wednesday night meeting.
Okay.
And your flare is up on Reddit now.
Oh, you
Thank
were
you.
listening. Good.
I was listening. I told you I'd be listening. I just my brain's not working the way it should because of the headache, so I didn't feel like I should answer too much or talk too much.
Mm.
You're excused.
All right.
Hey, Brian, just out of curiosity, and this is none of my business, I know you had this issue back, I'm going to say sometime within the last 2 months. But to be honest, I don't recall you, not complaining is not the correct word. I don't remember you mentioning this issue previously. Is this something recent that's been affecting you, or has this been ongoing?
Oh no, I get these real bad headaches from time to time. I've been getting them for many years now.
Okay.
And sometimes they're real bad for a day and sometimes they're real bad for a couple of days. Just this one's a couple of days, that's all. But most of the time it's just a single day and I get through it and the next day's bearable.
Yeah.
I mean, if this was 2 days ago, I wouldn't even been talking to you. So I'm getting better now. It's a lot better as it is, but you know, I haven't left the house in 2 days. Just
Is rest the only treatment for you?
yeah, pretty much just sleep, get through it.
Yeah, that's too bad.
I can't really take anything because of the other medications that I'm on. So
Ah,
I can take some Tylenol, which is basically like I should eat some of those Smarties that you guys were talking about.
Yeah, that's what
Hey.
Tylenol. That's what Tylenol is to me. It's like
Hey,
eating
just
friggin'
real quick, I am trying to export photos with a watermark on them. And when I did this and looked at them, I noticed that my font is completely different than what I normally use. So you guys might want to check your fonts with this Lightroom update.
Melissa, I remember when I used Lightroom that regardless of what I used to establish the watermark, it would change apparent font size if I went from landscape to a portrait aspect ratio.
No, I have a specific font set and it's not. I have like that cursive font. This
Yeah.
is block font now. My font is changed. It's gone.
Huh.
So I have to redo all my watermarks.
I don't know. I don't do watermarks.
But just in case, I just figured I'd let everybody know, just in case, if you do, check your fonts.
Yeah, I'll have to check it.
Now I have to go through every one and find what one I like. I hate
Mhm.
it.
Well, guys, I'm starting to go downhill. So
Starting. Wait a minute.
I am going to leave y'all.
Well, it's just about 9, so it's probably time to wrap up.
Okay, I'll see y'all next week then, okay?
All right. Good night,
All right,
Margie.
see ya.
Bye-bye.
Good night, Margie.
Good night.
Yeah, I'm probably going to head off too. Brian, if it's all right, I'll send you those names tomorrow night.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
No problem.
All right, well, I'm signing off too.
I am too.
Well,
Not
you're the
having-
host, Jim, so I don't know if you have to kick everybody out.
Oh, okay. Good night, everyone.
Good night.
Night.
Good night.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.